Let's head back to this story now. Eskom has signed deals that will see about 2,000 megawatts of renewable energy added to the national grid by private producers. The agreements are with 4 independent power producers to operate off-land near 2 Mpumalanga power stations, with the power utility's COO Jan Oberholzer saying power cuts are here to stay for the next 18 months. How long will it take for the grid to improve through private partnership? Well, let's unpack this with the former CEO of the parastatal, Jacob Maroga, who joins us now virtually. Mr. Maroga, thank you very much for your time here on ENCA. Of course, a lot of South Africans are seeing the signing of the IPPs as a positive, and I'm sure you agree, but there are some aspects of it that you don't agree to. Just tell us about these aspects that you don't agree to with what Eskom is saying will end load shedding.
Yeah, I think, Masogo, let me start with what I agree and what I support.
Yeah.
Firstly, we must be clear that renewable energy has got its benefits and it's got its value for the South African power mix and power system. And its value is that every time you get a megawatt from renewables, you avoid a megawatt from coal-fired power stations, you avoid emissions, and as renewables get cheaper, you're actually beginning to produce with cheaper sources of electricity, and that is good for South Africa. And the more we do that, it's good for South Africa. But what we should not do is to overpromise in terms of renewables. The IPP signings that we have seen is for private players who will also have their own private customers doing renewables next to the infrastructure of Eskom. It's good. But when we start saying that will be the solution of load shedding, that's where I'm saying we should not overpromise, because the solution for load shedding has to be the fixing of the current power station of Eskom. And I think from a technical engineering perspective, there's consensus about that.
So on Friday, when Eskom was basically almost celebrating for signing these 4 new IPPs, you retweeted them with a comment, and I just want to remind you of what you said. You said the value and benefits of increasing capacity for renewable energy in South Africa stands on its own. Cleaner, cheaper, more direct investment, etc. It's a good story. Stop there. Don't spoil this good story with the claim about ending load shedding. So Eskom is basically, according to your tweet, or at least how I interpreted it, besides overpromising, they basically are lying to the nation.
Well, I don't know whether it's a lie or it's just an overpromise or misunderstanding of the value of renewables. I mean, at the moment, the current crisis is because what we call dispatchable power, there is poor performance of the current Eskom base load. And this is where we'll find the solution for load shedding. If the renewables come with battery storage and is dispatchable, it will somehow assist. But at the moment, there isn't any battery storage of scale in the horizon that we are seeing. So bringing renewables alone is good for the benefits of renewables, but it will not assist in alleviating the dispatchable crisis that we have, which is mainly the power stations of Eskom.
And last week, Friday, the CEO of Eskom, Andre de Ruyter, saying that these IPPs, we'd start seeing a difference as South Africans and as consumers of electricity within 18 to 24 months. Do you think that's realistic?
Well, it depends, because again, because these are the private IPPs which will have their own customers. At the moment, we do not know whether they already signed up with their own customers, because what will then happen is that they now have the land, they can assess how much power they can generate from that land. They must then go and look for their own customers. Those customers must sign on in terms of the power purchase agreement, the pricing, and the volumes. And it's only then they'll start constructing once they've got the customers, once they've got the funding. So the timelines will be determined by those, because it is not Eskom which is in control. It is the private players and their private customers that is in control.
So right now, Ntate Maroga, we woke up to being told that we are suddenly on stage 4 load shedding, when we were on stage 2 only until tomorrow. A lot of South Africans, of course, we know by what the executive has been saying that load shedding is going to be with us for some time. But we didn't expect that there'd be this issue where suddenly we're on stage 4. And of course, a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, by 5 o'clock tonight, they might be announcing stage 6. And every time this happens, they're talking about generating capacity and the tripping of their generating capacity at different substations. But we thought that there's maintenance happening. So what could likely be causing all this tripping and generating capacity just lessening every day?
Well, I think this is the thing that I think Eskom may have to elaborate. The generic reasons is that the performance and the reliability of most of the power units is declining or has declined, and it's to do with maintenance, it's to do with the quality of the maintenance that they are doing. So in the absence of a fundamental change, so what we have seen in the past 4 weeks of stage 4, stage 6, in the absence of a fundamental change, it means that's going to be how we're going to be living with this thing if only in 2 years we'll have a solution. I just think that that is a bit too much. I don't think the society, the economy can tolerate that. Yeah. I think it is important for Eskom to become much more forthright in terms of what are the deeper root causes and what are the things that they are doing or to actually alleviate this. I don't think the 12 to 24 months is something that society can tolerate. I think we're going to need quicker solutions, and I think that's where we need to maybe wait also for the board, because the new board is also probably assessing and listening to what management say, and over time they'll pronounce in terms of what are the new measures that they'll bring to bear to try and alleviate this problem.